But that's okay. This way we might get more members just walking by listening.
Free food.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Coffee's decaf.
The speaker tonight is on acupuncture, and this was recommended to us by Cheryl, and I think everybody here knows Cheryl, pretty much. Okay?
Some of the new people.
So I'm going to let her introduce you because I know she uses you for acupuncture, correct? Okay.
Well, this is Amy Brown, and she actually is my acupuncturist. So she's wonderful, and I have gone to Amy for to be treated for anxiety issues. So helping me sleep for insomnia, things like that. And she's really helped. So I haven't been to for a while, you know.
Since
but
your vacation.
Yeah. But I kind of I've used acupuncture before. I used to go to someone in Brookfield who was wonderful too, but I live way out here. And when I was like looking, and I found Amy because she's close by, and she was highly recommended. So I tried her out months ago and loved her. So she's going to talk tonight about acupuncture because it's kind of a big mystery to me. I mean, I've learned more about it and I've read about it online, but it's really fun to have her explain how acupuncture works. And it's, you know, a very evidence-based treatment, you know, that is very effective. So I'll let her tell you about it though.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I just keep this very casual. I'll just do an overview and then open it up to question and answers so you can have whatever information you want specifically. So Chinese medicine is thousands of years old, 3,000 to 5,000 years, depending on who you ask. And if you have trouble hearing me, you might want to scoot your chairs closer. This is as loud as I get.
Stand right here, a little closer. There you go. Is that better?
Okay.
That's all right.
I think it's like even if we stood in the middle, everybody might
Stood in the middle? I don't want to have my back to anyone.
try to hold your
I've been Oriental medicine for just over 12 years now. I got into it myself for chronic pain, which I had my entire life, and tried all the Western stuff and really got nowhere. And I had a fabulous chiropractor refer me to an acupuncturist. I was like, wow, this is it. I started out my college career wanting to be a physical therapist. That just didn't work out, so in a roundabout way I ended up becoming an acupuncturist. The amazing thing about it is we look at the body as a whole. So we don't just treat a symptom, we ask you dozens of questions and try to figure out the root cause of any ailment. So for instance, if you have chronic constipation, I'm going to ask you what you're eating, what your bowels look like, what they smell like, how often you're having them. I'll ask you any other number of questions because one question will lead to another, and then that helps you figure out the root cause. So we'll treat the symptom, which is constipation, and then we'll treat the underlying cause beyond that. There is really no limitation to what we can treat, but we never want to be so bold as to say I can fix everything for everyone, because that will not be true. But most people are finding it a wonderful adjunct to whatever they're already doing. More and more doctors are recommending it. I think, Cheryl, you told me somebody has a back problem and their surgeon said they wouldn't be touched unless they tried acupuncture first.
Yeah, one of the gym members, the back surgeon, said that. He goes, you need to go to physical therapy, and after that, acupuncture, and don't come back to me until you've done both of those treatments, and then I will think about surgery.
So, with pain, when we insert a needle, we're creating what the body views as a microtrauma, even with anxiety or depression. So then it comes into gear your body's natural healing processes. It releases the feel-good chemicals, the endorphins and serotonin, and you just are naturally relaxed. So no matter what you're coming in for, you're going to leave relaxed. It's actually naturally sedating, and then your symptoms eventually go away. And it is a process. It can't be one thing, one visit, and then you're done. It's a series of treatments. Ideally, each treatment builds off of the one before it, and you'll feel better and better. So it's different for everyone, because you can't take two people with the same problem and have them get better at the same pace, because they're, like I was talking about before, the root cause of their ailment is going to be not necessarily the same. So common questions I get asked are, is it painful? And I'm naturally a very gentle needler, and on purpose. I don't feel I need to cause pain when you're already in discomfort. If you're in my office, it's because you're already having problems. So for my own perspective, I don't need to cause more pain to be effective. I treat children, and they do just fine. They don't totally enjoy coming in, but I don't get many complaints. Other things people ask are how much of this is placebo. I think anytime you're getting taken care of by another person, there's an element of that, just because you're getting nurtured. Beyond that, if it works on children and animals who don't have the mental capacity to appreciate a placebo effect, I mean, it is very effective for animals. There's vets that do it. So there's that. Other things people ask would be, how many times do I have to come, and when will I feel better? And again, gray area. Some people it's rapid results. Other people will have a 2-step forward, 1-step back type of a response. So anyone think they have any questions? I brought one prop, and this shows the body and all the meridians on it. There are 12 main meridians that run bilaterally, which means both sides. There's one that runs up the midline and one that runs down the back. And there are anywhere between 9 and 67 points on each meridian. So the busiest one is the one that runs up and down the back. There are 67 points on that. It actually begins at the eye, travels all the way down, and ends at the little toe. So it's very involved trying to learn all of this and where they are. So on the meridians, you have all these little dots. I'll have to pass this around so you guys can see it, but each dot is a pool of energy. So that's what we're accessing when we put the needles in. So each point has a prescribed depth that will hit with the needle, an angle. So up here, you don't want to go straight in because there's organs underneath. So we're going to angle it. So prescribed depth, angle, needle size, and then some of these points have pages and pages of functions, just of things they do. Some have lesser functions, some you don't needle at all, but that's that. Would you like to pass that around?
When you're acupuncturing, you're just a needle, right? It's nothing else you're putting in?
Right. They are thin, which I brought some of those too, but I'll carry that around, and I'll stick one in myself so people can see it. Not going to stick anyone else, but I'll stick myself, or maybe Cheryl. So they're solid. It's not like a hypodermic needle, so there's nothing injecting, there's nothing on it. And it's more of a wire than actual needle. Like people are expecting that would be coming at them with a hypodermic needle, but it's actually very, very thin. And they're flexible. You can bend them.
Where do you get your needles from?
I order them from a place in Florida, but a lot of them are made in China. They're pre-sterilized. Most of them are single-use. Most of us only use the single-use needles.
How long do you leave them in?
Once they're in, I let people rest, usually around 30 minutes. At school, they taught us 20 minutes, but I like to make people rest because most people just don't take time out for themselves. So,
And can you put one in, more than one in at a time?
yeah. So it's just
like
one.
if you have an issue, let's say you have an issue with your neck and an issue with your knee, can you put them in both?
Yes. Yeah, and then, again, we figure out what else is going on and maybe treat other core symptoms too. But it works great for knee pain, great for neck pain. It was neck pain that got me into this, so. And the World Health Organization, has a set number of ailments that they have admitted as.
Oh, it just broke the skull.
Oh, you could just leave that.
Oh, you bought it.
You wouldn't believe how expensive that is, Augie.
I didn't order an inserter.
I brought that up.
Now you're trained, huh?
I'm trained, I can do it. I can do it now.
I'm not going to be your
I
first
don't know how our
patient.
hemorrhoids feel.
There actually is a point right there.
What the hell, we got a damn needle?
That's the big one, Augie.
We did that point on the last day of needling class. They saved the best for last. It goes between the tailbone and the anus, essentially, and we did that one, and then one that was inserted and then goes inside the breastplate. We saved that one for the last day, and then one where you kind of shove the eyeball out of the way and stick it in there.
And what would be the reason for putting it in by the eye?
Macular degeneration. Any eye
Really?
disorder. I won't do it.
But Okay.
There's a gentleman, I think, in Kentucky, I know, it it creeps me out too still.
Okay.
But
Well, they have them where you do
She's
injections
sticking them
inside
right
the
behind the eye.
Ooh, for the same type
for
of thing.
macular,
Pop your
yes.
eyeball
Kind of gross to think about, but I had it done and I did it, but I won't do it again, not that one. But you can get other points. So the neat thing about acupuncture, there's hundreds of points, so,
Just pick a
you know,
different
for
one.
instance,
It's not
yes,
as,
if I don't want to do that one, I can pick the next one up, which is right here, and I can surround the whole eye with needles relatively painlessly and still have good benefit from it.
how long do you have to go to school?
Well, I have a Master's of Science in Oriental Medicine, and that was basically a 4-year education crammed into 3 years' time. So we went year-round, no breaks. And we cover all of the
Watch it.
Western sciences, anatomy, neurology, physiology, pharmacology, nutrition, orthopedics, and physical exam. So we have to cover all of that our first year. It's pretty intense, but our Western science teacher was kind of, he was a hoot. And then we start learning the theory on top of that, how it works and why. And basically, it's all about balance in Chinese medicine. We don't want a body to be too damp or too dry, too hot or too cold. We don't want energy itself to be too stuck or moving too fast. So back to the meridians, kind of jumping around a little bit, but back to the meridians, energy flows through them. And it should flow nicely through there. If somebody's too hot, the energy might speed up, and then they could have things like high blood pressure or seizures or any number of things. And if energy goes too slow or gets stuck, the blood will also get stuck in that situation where you have pain. So it can get stuck all on its own for whatever reason, or it can get stuck due to an injury. So you injure yourself, say you tear your ACL, and then your knee swells, that's a stuckness. And we don't want stuck, we want flowing. So by putting in the needles, we are bringing the body's attention to the area, again, with the release of the natural feel-good chemicals. We're increasing blood circulation, which helps take down the inflammation in the area. And very often when you have less inflammation, you have less pain.
Say like you got knee problems, you know, what is I got a friend of ours who's going through acupuncture right now.
Okay.
And he says they're putting needles all over him, but hardly any in the knees. He says, but it feels great. He says, I don't understand it, he says, but, you know.
Well, there are different schools of thought with acupuncture. Those of us who attended in the area, we're all given traditional Chinese medicine as our primary way of learning. Then there's, you can take extra courses and learn Korean therapy. My first acupuncturist was Korean, and I was going in for neck and back pain, and one time I had 30 needles in my right hand. And then I made the mistake of picking it up and looking at it, and I just felt this big jolt. Well, I had all this energy in there from the needles. So Korean therapy, they superimpose the body. So this would be the back of the head. This would be the arms, the legs, the hips, the spine, then you flip it around, the face, the throat, and here would be some, the internal organs, ovaries, stomach, and the bottom of the feet. So that's the Korean. I haven't gone in depth learning that. Then there's a Japanese style, which I've not tried at all. Then there's a gentleman who invented his own way of doing it, and I took a few courses of his. So if I hit a roadblock with my knowledge base, maybe I'll grab his book and